Okay, Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Farooq Habib. How are you doing?
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Okay, so we are now live on the Marhaba Crypto channel. And so we can get this AMA started. But before that, how's your day? How's everything? What's going on with your work and everything?
Yes, Alhamdulillah, everything is fine. And I just got back from Makkah Al Mukarramah. And before that,
Nice.
I was in Medina Al Munawwara. Alhamdulillah, it was a very
Yeah.
spiritual and nice experience.
hmm
So, Alhamdulillah.
Nice, nice. I know you're in Medina and we couldn't meet up, but it's okay. Alhamdulillah, we've met up before and we'll meet up a million times again in the future. How's
Inshallah.
Ramadan going? How's Have you paid your zakat?
Alhamdulillah.
That's the real question. Have you paid your zakat?
Yes, I have. Actually, I paid my zakat in advance. So,
Mashallah, mashallah.
So before Ramadan, even like before the my year completed, I paid some of my zakat, almost 50%, 60% before in advance, and then now remaining one I am paying now.
Mashallah, mashallah. Okay, amazing. So as you know, there's a lot of these questions that have came up. I've sent you a few questions on on what people are asking about zakat on crypto. So I'm just opening up these questions here right now, and we can jump into it. If there's anything else you want to say before we get started, please go for it now. This is the time to talk about it.
No, Alhamdulillah, I am completely fine. So inshallah, let's go on and focus on the questions, inshallah.
Okay. So we had questions come from different places. So we had the forum, we had the Twitter, we had Telegram, we had the YouTube channel. And so what I've done is I've actually taken the main questions and I've sent them here. But then if you have questions, if and whoever is listening to this live can ask their questions also, and we will go over those questions at the ending. So let's start off with these questions. Um, okay. So there's a question regarding this is from a brother from the forum says Salaam alaikum regarding equity
Walaikum salam.
tokens, also equity stocks. I guess you said you have to pay zakat on the full underlying value of the asset, but also on the zakatable, I think, asset of the company. What does that mean? Is it zakat on the crypto asset and also the example inventory of the company? I don't know if this question is fully
Okay, yeah,
clear.
no, actually, I think the brother is referring to my previous presentation
Mm-hmm.
about zakat on cryptos. So that's where I mentioned two things. Number one is that there is a category of crypto tokens which is called the equity token. You can call them equity because they represent shares in a company,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and they are just like crypto shares. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
now there are two ways of paying zakat on it. If you are holding them to trade in the market and exchange them uh, just for the capital gains, then of course like you have to pay zakat on their market value, full market value. So that is number one. But
Mm-hmm.
if you are not holding them to for trading, instead you are holding them to receive dividends, then you have to pay zakat on the zakatable assets of the company itself only. So you do not have to pay zakat on it at the complete market value, full market value of those equity tokens. So that is basically the explanation I think that the brother was expecting from me.
Okay, very nice. So we had a few other questions, but some of them are not to do with zakat, so I'm going to skip them. So there's another question about NFTs. So I think there's a lot of people on NFT. So bought Star Atlas NFT with the intention of selling, and in the mean time stake the NFT to get Atlas tokens. So we've talked about this. Do I have to calculate zakat only on the reward earned, or do I also need to calculate the price of the NFT as a zakat, like on for the zakat also?
So, okay, so the brother has already mentioned, I do not know
Mm-hmm.
whether it's a brother or a sister, but whoever has mentioned about it, that
Mm-hmm.
if he or she has an intention to trade it, at a higher value later, maybe even in the long term, but your intention is already clear, whether it is a long term intention or a short term intention. But the
Mm-hmm.
intention is clear that you want to trade that NFT for a profit. So it means that it is a tradable asset or
Mm-hmm.
business asset, and you have to pay zakat on its full market value.
Okay. So even the one that's even the portion that's staked, you have to pay zakat on, and also the NFT's value appreciation.
So the portion you have staked. So if it is going into your savings, and it has already completed 1 year, then of course, like, you have to pay zakat on it as well, like the reward you are receiving. And the market value of the NFTs, you also have to calculate it and then pay zakat on it, because you have that
Okay.
intention that later on you will be trading that NFT for a higher value.
Okay. And okay.
Sorry, brother Ahmed, my I don't know, due to weak internet connection, your voice got stuck. Can you please repeat?
Yeah, I was saying so the NFT appreciation is for sure is because you're appreciating asset, but also the savings is gonna
Hmm.
go into zakatable, but it's a different category. Um,
Hmm.
now,
So
just a
savings
quick,
is also like
yeah.
that. For example, if you have a portfolio and it worth uh, $100,000, for example, so then it
Hmm.
means that you have to pay zakat on it as well, because it's a portfolio of your savings or tradable portfolio, whatever it is.
And even if it's sitting money, even if it's just sitting money or sitting
Yes,
assets.
so it's just sitting there. You are just collecting rewards,
Uh huh.
and you are not doing anything with them, but still, these are rewards. Again, one more thing. Now, this is something a little bit complicated, but if your portfolio, if you can identify in your portfolio that what type of assets you are having, then again, I am referring back to my presentation where you have to categorize each and every crypto, and you have to pay zakat on those cryptos according to the categorization. Or if you have intention that the whole portfolio is my trading portfolio, then
Hmm.
you have to pay zakat on its full market value, because the whole portfolio is actually a trading portfolio here.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. And can you? I know a long time ago when I was doing research on zakat, there's also different rates for different things. Do you want to quickly go
Hmm.
over that also? Like, what is it? 2%? Is it 2.5%? Is it 3%? What do I? How much do I pay on on what asset?
In From my experience and what I have observed in crypto space, mostly it will be calculated at 2.5% rate.
2.5%. Okay,
So,
makes
I
sense.
mean, there is nothing else, because either it will be a tradable asset, for example, like business asset. So, like, it will become your inventory sort of thing. So, because
Mm-hmm.
of that, you have to pay zakat on the full market value of it, and then you will calculate zakat at the rate of 2.5%. And if, let's suppose that it is, you are not trading them, but still you are holding those tokens for uh, something else, then either you will not pay zakat if it is a utility token, or
Mm-hmm.
if it, let's suppose that it represents something. For example, if it's a real estate backed tokens, or a gold
Mm-hmm.
backed tokens, or a silver
Mm-hmm.
backed tokens, so then
Mm-hmm.
of course, like, you have to calculate zakat, but again, it is for 2.5% rate. So I think the rate remains constant throughout.
Okay. Interesting. One more. So we had another question, but this one's a long one, so I'm gonna kind of summarize it, and I think it's three questions. So one part of it was the MRHB tokens. I'm holding it for utility and for the long term use of it. Do I need to pay zakat on it? I bought it in the beginning of um, the 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 launch. So as soon as TGE had happened, I bought it at launch, and I got my tokens. Do I have to pay zakat on it?
Okay, so we need to understand here one thing is that Marhaba token, MRHP token, is a
Mm-hmm.
utility token. And
Mm-hmm.
if a person is holding that token with the
Mm-hmm.
intention that whenever the utility is available on the
Mm-hmm.
platform for this token, then I will be looking forward to avail that utility. So instead
Mm-hmm.
of short term or long term trading, he is
Mm-hmm.
looking at the utility itself. So that is basically his niya. In that sense, then he does not have to pay zakat on the holdings of MRHV tokens. But if
Hmm.
somebody is holding MRHV tokens for trading, then he will have to pay zakat on it on its full market value with the rate of 2.5%.
Okay, got it. Now let's say
So sorry,
um
yeah, maybe like I will add further here that since
yes,
the brother is saying in the question that I have an intention uh, to avail the utility, although like
yes.
it's not there yet,
Hmm.
but it will be introduced soon, inshallah. So whenever it will be released or launched, then the brother has the intention that he will avail the utility. So in that sense, he does not have to pay zakat on it.
Okay. Second point to on the Marhaba token itself. I bought it in the round one, round two, X months ago, but I didn't get the tokens for another 3 months. Do I count those 3 months as holding or non-holding?
Yeah, this is a crucial question, and I think that we are discussing it among ourselves because there
Hmm.
are various arguments that whether it will become already a receivable and it's a loan on Marhaba DeFi. That, for
Hmm.
example, let's suppose that you have already been given 20 or 30% of your token allocation, but the remaining 80 or 70% is still with Marhaba. So whether it's
Hmm.
a loan on Marhaba, so we are discussing it among ourselves. So we are trying to basically have uh, commonly accepted view on it, and then
Hmm.
inshallah we will release it soon to our
Hmm.
community. So thanks for this question, and thanks for bearing with us. But
Hmm.
since it's a new area, so we want
Hmm.
to basically have be 100% confident about it
Got it.
that whatever opinion we are going to have, inshallah, then we will tell guide our community about it.
Yeah.
So in that sense, what I can say is that I know that many people have bought our token at pre-sale stages where
Hmm.
it was vested. There is a lock period, and then after that there is a vesting schedule, and the tokens will be released according to the vesting schedule.
Yeah.
So we need to basically we are discussing it among ourselves, and inshallah we will communicate it with our through our marketing channels, and also with our social media, for example Telegram, etc.,
Hmm.
to tell that okay how they are going to calculate zakat on it. Inshallah
Hmm.
it will be done soon within a couple of days.
Sounds good. Amazing. Yeah, and I mean, this is the beauty of this is that we're literally writing the books for the future of crypto and zakat, and so it's very interesting to see what's happening. All
It's
right.
Alhamdulillah a very, very nice experience, by the way. I must tell you that on one hand, I sometimes I hold classical books which have been written like 1,000 years ago, 600
Mashallah.
years ago, and on the other hand, I am in my hand there are books or like material on the internet which is talking about the future of finance. So I see that like on one hand there is a future perception
Hmm.
about finance and about the decentralized financial products.
Hmm.
On the other hand, I am basically having the classical fiqh books, so trying to bridge the gap of like 1,000 years and see
Yeah.
that like
Oh man.
how things
Yeah.
can work over here.
That sounds super exciting. Coming from a
Yes,
guy
yes.
that wrote some thesis papers and stuff like that for university, and I didn't like writing too much, but now when I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh, that could be super exciting because you're bringing the past with the present to decide the
Mhm.
future. It's
Yes,
subhanallah.
alhamdulillah.
Okay, next question. Uh, all right, so I've had a question on our YouTube. So these are questions from YouTube. So a bit confused about rule number three, doing zakat payments on cryptocurrencies. If your intention is unclear, i.e., you haven't decided whether you plan to trade or hodl, then zakat is not payable. Please clarify on this. So,
Yeah,
um,
so there are three cases based on intention. Either the intention is very clear that you are going to hold the token or you are going to sell the token. I mean, trade it. Okay. So
mhm,
in that case, your intention is very clear. You know already that.
Mhm.
or your intention is not clear.
Mhm.
Okay. So in the first case, where your intention is clear that you are
Mhm.
going to hold the token, you do not have to pay zakat, because this is not your intention is not to trade, but to avail the utility, or even if, let's suppose, it's an equity token, then you want to receive dividends uh,
Mhm.
out of that equity token, for example. So, and maybe I gave some examples I gave some other examples also in my presentation. For example, if somebody wants to own a house to live in,
Mhm.
and for that he is holding an NFT backed by real estate, or a token backed by
Mhm.
real estate, right? Because
Mhm.
he wants to actually own that piece of land, and
Mhm.
to build something on it for his living. So in that
Mhm.
sense, he does not have to pay zakat on it, right? So that is
Mm.
what I'm trying
Okay.
to say. That if your
Mhm.
intention is clear, you do not have to pay, and your intention is to just hold the token for different reasons, then you do not
Mhm.
have to pay zakat on it. But
Okay.
if your intention is, now second case is, your intention is very clear that you are going to trade this token,
Mhm.
whether, regardless whether this it's a token, it's a real estate backed token, it's an equity token, it's a utility
Mhm.
token, it's a
Mhm.
governance token, NFT, etc.
Mhm.
So you have to calculate zakat on it with the
Mhm.
rate of 2.5%
Mhm.
at its full market value. So this is also very clear. Now the
Got it.
third co- uh, third case is, you are not decisive. You cannot decide that what is my intention. Some people just buy it as spontaneously, a token, and then they do not know that whether what they are going to do with it. So if your intention is not very clear, then you do not have to pay zakat on it. So it will be related to the first case, where you are holding some tokens to avail the utility, or any other benefit. So I hope
Okay.
that this clarifies.
Okay. That does clarify because it's all it has to do. It's linked with your intention. That's what you're trying to say.
Yes.
Okay. Got makes sense. Okay, now so in line with this, like holding token, so I let's say I have staked or liquidity provided X tokens, and it's been 2 years, but my like I can see that's how many tokens I've made profit on, but it's in the ecosystem. Now, do I pay zakat on the tokens that I've gotten rewarded in the sense of I don't know if it'll be considered as dividend, but I've gotten staking rewards or liquidity providing rewards, and then I've also made appreciation on the tokens itself. Now, what am I paying zakat on? Am I paying zakat on the appreciation plus
Yes.
the stakes, or if I'm not paying on the staking?
Okay, so there are two things. Number one, it's the token itself. It has been appreciated in value. But again, it comes back to your intention, that whether you want to hold this token and you do not want to trade it at the moment. So if that is your intention. If that is the intention, then of course you do not have to pay zakat on the value of that token. Okay. But if your intention is, even in the long run, for example, like after 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you will trade it and then you will sell it, then it means that it's a tradable asset, and then you have to pay zakat on its full market value. This is for the token itself. Now,
Mhm.
go on the other hand, we talk about the reward you are receiving, because you have staked this token in a pool, for example, or in any project or in a platform. So then you are receiving rewards for it. So if you are accumulating those rewards, um, it's a little bit complicated, that I will have to ask you that in what form you are receiving those rewards.
Mhm.
So, and then if, let's suppose, that token you are receiving is basically can be categorized into the categories which I have mentioned in my previous presentation, then
Mhm.
zakat ruling will be according to the category it falls under. For
Got it.
example, you are staking a token,
Mhm.
BNB. Let's suppose you are staking BNB, and
Mhm.
then you are receiving a governance token. The governance
Mhm.
token does not have any market, for example, and then you are receiving it to basically uh, ec- uh, uh, express or utilize the right to vote. So you want to
Mhm.
basically avail the right to vote in the system. So
Mm-hmm.
that is your intention. So here you do not have, you might pay zakat on BNB, but you will not be paying zakat on the governance token, because you are receiving that governance token to actually avail the utility only, which is to vote in the system, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you are receiving another token, let's suppose that you stake BNB, and because of that, I'm just trying to make it very, very simple.
Mm-hmm.
Although I know, but that let's suppose that you are staking BNB, and because of that, you are receiving another protocol's uh, token, which
Mm-hmm.
is you intend to trade.
Mm-hmm. Or
So
sell.
if yeah, or sell, for example, so trading or selling, so then you have to pay zakat on both
Okay.
BNB and uh, then this reward also.
Okay. So I guess a lot of it does matter on your intention. If your
Yeah,
intention
so
is,
here,
yeah.
you're right.
Okay.
So that's why I stressed a lot in my presentation that intention will decide that whether you are going to pay zakat on it or not. It's a very crucial factor.
Got it. Okay. I think you kind of answered this question, but this is another question.
Yes,
If
please.
I buy one crypto token, which is a share on real estate, and I get monthly rental income, for example, the Real T project, can you confirm that I don't have to pay zakat on the token value, ownership of the house, but only on the rental income? It's similar if someone owns a few apartments and is doing rental. The zakat is on the value of the apartment or only on the rental income? It's a good question.
Yeah, so actually, what happens again, I go back that it based on your intention. That if your intention is to just hold that property, right? And
Mm-hmm.
maybe like you want to give it to your offsprings, like your sons and daughters, for example, later on, uh, then you do not have to pay zakat on it, because this is you have already bought. You do not have
Mm-hmm.
the intention to sell it. You have the intention to basically uh, rent it, and then you will receive rental income. If you are
Mm-hmm.
receiving rental income, then of course, like if that rental income goes to savings, you have to
Mm-hmm.
pay zakat on it. So
Got it.
similarly, if you are holding a token over here which is backed by real estate, you do not have the intention to sell that token,
Mm-hmm.
right? But you want to basically accrue rental income out of
Mm-hmm.
that token. When you
Mm-hmm.
are doing that, of course you have to pay zakat on the rental income, but not on the token.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. All right. So now I had this one brother sent a long list of questions. So let me kind of filter through some of these and then maybe quickly go through this. Um, a couple of these. Do I follow on the purpose? Yeah, I think you answered this question already. Um,
Maybe like
uh,
what you can do is, Ahmed, you
mhm.
read out loud the question, so that like the person would also know that okay, it has been answered or no. So, but at least
Okay.
like you read out loud, so that they will know.
Okay, yeah. So, for example, one of this is if I buy and hold crypto, but with the intention to sell in a couple of years, do I fall under for the purpose of trading category? How to determine if my investment is for trading or for long term? I mean, this is on yourself, right? Like you need to determine on how if you
Yeah.
do.
So
Yeah.
even like if it is long term, like you are thinking that okay, I will not trade it today, but I will trade it after 2 3 years or even 5 years or 10 years,
Uh
then
huh.
still you have to pay zakat on it, because it will become a tradable asset.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So this one, next one is actually a pretty crucial one. Because crypto is really volatile, 1 week's difference can mean double the zakat. If, for instance, the market day or tomorrow, is it allowed to pay zakat before the due date because it's less expensive? So I think there's two questions here. Can I pay zakat early because it's cheaper for me, or and two, do I pay zakat after I sell and stuff like that? Like, how does this
Okay.
work? I think this is really interesting.
Yeah. So I think that first of all, straighten up your nia. I mean, do not make your nia like, okay, now the Bitcoin price is going down, the market is bearish, and I
Yeah,
know that the prices at the moment are low, so I
yeah,
better pay zakat now,
yeah.
because Sharia scholars, Islamic jurists, and fuqaha mentioned that whenever you are paying zakat,
Mm-hmm.
think of the way. which benefit most the poor people, the receivers of zakat.
Mm.
So because of that, because this is alhamdulillah, this is the spirit of zakat, and I know that since you guys are asking these questions, it means that
Mhm.
alhamdulillah you have that niyyah to pay zakat. Those who do not have that niyyah, do not have a good intent, and they even not bother to pay zakat on it.
Mhm.
So anyways, this is a good thing, but I think you also need to further purify your niyyah by not having that intention that okay, I want to pay zakat in the bearish market
Uh-huh.
uh, instead of a bullish one. Now, coming back to the question again, is that now it if, for example, in my case, I paid my zakat in advance, not for the reason that the market was bullish or bearish, but because there were some people who asked me for some help and assistance.
Mhm.
So I thought that I can help them with my zakat money, so I did it. Okay, so if you have already paid zakat, let's suppose Bitcoin was at $30,000, and you had one Bitcoin and then you paid zakat on it in advance, so then it's already okay. So you have already paid for your zakat in advance, doesn't matter. Or if let's suppose that now you are waiting for your zakat anniversary. So now the brother question was that okay, whether if there is a difference of 1 week or 2 week, it also makes a lot of difference, right? So what I'm trying to say here is that you need to be aware of your zakat anniversary day. For example, some people want to pay zakat on 1st of Ramadan, 10th of Ramadan. Mostly people they want to pay zakat in Ramadan. Although like it is not confined to Ramadan, some people will have their zakat anniversary on a different day, maybe like 10th of Muharram. Or now remember also another thing is that you have to calculate your zakat 1 year according to the Islamic calendar, not according to the Gregorian or the Christian calendar. So, like, it will
Yeah.
not be like 1st January or 5th of March or something like that. It
Yeah.
should be an Islamic date, 1st of
Yeah.
Muharram, 10th of Muharram, 10th of 15th of Ramadan, etc. Number one. And then you have to calculate your zakat on the exact date. This is
Mhm.
what I need to pay as zakat.
Mhm.
The good now, the most recommended way is that you pay your zakat right away on your
Mhm.
zakat anniversary. Either you
Mhm.
pay earlier or you pay until your zakat anniversary.
Mhm.
You can do that. But if
Mhm.
some people haven't paid it on their own zakat anniversary and they are
Mhm.
late, it's still, let's suppose that on their zakat anniversary, Bitcoin price was 40,000 and they have one Bitcoin. So zakat
Mhm.
will be calculated on their zakat anniversary dates Bitcoin price, which were 40,000. Okay. Let's
Mhm.
suppose now the person has got late and he wants to pay zakat after 1 month of his zakat anniversary. After
Mhm.
1 month, what happened is Bitcoin prices shot up and now it is 50,000. He doesn't have to calculate zakat at 50,000. He will have to pay zakat on 40,000. Price can go down as well after 1 month. For example, let's suppose that his zakat anniversary date, the price of Bitcoin was 40,000, but after 1 month, it went down to 30,000 or 25,000.
Mhm.
Still, he has to pay zakat on 40,000. He will calculate it at 40,000 because that was the price on his zakat anniversary date.
Yeah. Okay. So your intention should be from that date that is 1 year, exactly
Yeah,
one
number
year.
one is you have to have your zakat. You have to know your zakat anniversary date,
Mhm.
right? What is it? And
Mhm.
on that zakat anniversary, you
Mhm.
calculate your zakat and either you pay it. If you are late, this is the
Mhm.
first one is the most recommended way is to pay zakat right away. You do not delay your fard because it is your fard now,
Yeah.
and it is basically sort of like a loan from poor people on you. So it's like it's an obligation
Subhanallah.
on you,
So
not a loan but an
yeah.
obligation.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have to pay it as soon as
It's their haq.
possible.
It's their haq.
Yeah, it's their this is their
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So because of that, you are under obligation to pay it. But if, let's
Yeah.
suppose, for some reason you got late, still
Mhm.
not, don't worry, but you will still maintain the prices, the valuation, the zakat calculation of the zakat anniversary date, and accordingly
Mhm.
you will pay it afterwards.
So if I get this correct, for you to be have a peaceful dunya and akhirah, there's 2 dates you need to remember: your zakat anniversary and your marriage anniversary. If you forget
Yes.
anyone, one is gone. Is that correct? That's
Okay.
good. I had an idea. So tell me if this idea would be correct. Can't I just pay zakat with my crypto? Makes life easy. For example, I had 1 Bitcoin. 1 year later, I still have 1 Bitcoin. So I just pay 2.5% of that Bitcoin, regardless of the price. I just take that out, that exact amount of 0.025 Bitcoin, and I give it to a charitable organization, whatever amount it makes. Like I don't calculate from the asset in USD, but I calculate it in crypto itself because technically it's its own currency or it's its own asset. What do you think about
That
that?
is a very good question, by the way, because right now what we are doing, we are converting everything into dollar value first,
Mm-hmm.
and then calculate zakat on it. So for example, like my previous statement was that the bitcoin price was 40,000, and the price crashes,
Mm-hmm.
it goes down to 30,000, but you have to pay zakat because
Mm-hmm.
at the 40,000 was your zakat anniversary date price. So because of that, you
Mm-hmm.
have to calculate on according to the 40,000, not the 30,000. Or if it, even if it goes up by 50,000, then you have to pay zakat on this. But I think that it's, in my personal opinion, you can do that, which is a good idea. That, like, if you own one Bitcoin, 10 Ethereums, for example, and then you want to calculate zakat on it, you will just pay 22.5% of those 10 Ethereums, or one Bitcoin, etc. This is
Mm-hmm.
doable in my personal thing, but I think that it is something which needs more research,
Mm-hmm.
and it will be a good idea, like later, if we can communicate with our community after doing the research, and
Mm-hmm.
have an official SGB's opinion on that.
Okay, so I think we can take a note of this, and then we can get back to
Definitely,
the.
because it's a good idea and
It's
it's
a
a
good
good question.
article. Yeah, it'll be a good article. Okay, cool. The next one is it's similar to this, and something you said before. Can I pay overall? Can I pay? For example, I have my investments in. I don't have cash, equivalent cash to pay zakat on it. Can I pay it in
Mhm.
installments in the upcoming months? And I think you kind of answered this, but go into details about
Yes,
paying
so I
zakat
think
in
that you can do
installments.
that. You
Uh
can
huh.
do that. So like, if you do not have cash in your hand at the moment, so
Mhm.
you can do that, that you can delay it. It is allowed but not
Mhm.
recommended, like I said
Mhm.
before, because the moment your zakat, on your zakat anniversary, and then the zakat anniversary passes, then
Mhm.
it has become an obligation on you. It's the right of other people. So do not
Mhm.
keep it to yourself for a long time unnecessarily.
Mhm. Mhm. Got it. Okay, so there's a few other questions that I'm getting, but I think before I get to those questions, I wanted to ask some generic zakat questions, if that's okay.
Yes, please.
So who do I give zakat to? Like, there's a lot. Like, for example, in the West, the concept of giving money to someone who is in need, that is not having food or house, it's difficult to find those individuals. So we always have to go to the developing countries and give it there. But can we do that? And who do we give zakat to? I think there's a criteria, but if you could just quickly go over
So,
that.
according
Yeah.
to fiqh, number one is that zakat should be paid within the jurisdiction or within the own city. So, like, if let's suppose that
Mhm.
you live in New York or Toronto, so try to basically find people over there who are eligible to receive zakat and pay them,
Mhm.
because uh, but even before that, it starts with your own relatives, actually. So if you can find somebody in your own relatives that who need zakat, then pay them zakat, because they are higher in the hierarchy. So they
Mhm.
are the most prioritized people first. So, like, whom
Got it.
you have a blood relationship, or they are your relatives, etc. Number one. Number two, then, the people who are in your own city. or own country. So
Mm-hmm.
they are the most eligible or the rightful people to receive zakat.
Got it.
If let's suppose that you cannot find people in your country or in your city who are eligible to receive zakat, then of course, like, you can send this zakat to other cities,
Mm-hmm.
whether if you are coming from Pakistan or India or any other place, and then you live in UK, Australia, Canada, etc. So then you can give zakat to your um, back at your home, actually, or your native country. But
Mm-hmm.
this is one opinion. Other opinion is that some scholars also hold that you need to find people who are the most needy people. So if you
Mm-hmm.
think that in your city like Toronto or London, you might not find people with that level of necessity
Mm-hmm.
as compared to very underdeveloped countries like Africa, Somalia, Ethiopia, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, or any other country, and you think that like there are people who have higher level of necessity over there, and your zakat will be more have a more impact will have more impact in the society if you pay them there, then of course,
Mm-hmm.
like, you can also do that. So these are two different opinions of Sharia scholars. I am just putting it in front of you to choose.
Mm-hmm.
um, I think that I have answered your question, or was there
Yes.
something remaining?
No, exactly, exactly. That's correct.
Oh,
You've
okay, sorry.
answered
Yeah.
my.
But you asked also about the categories of people who are eligible to receive zakat.
Yes. Yes.
So number one is there is a Quranic verse which has mentioned eight categories of people who are eligible to pay to receive zakat. So
Mm-hmm.
number one are lil fuqara il muhajirin,
Mm-hmm.
lil fuqara wal masakin wal
Mm-hmm.
amilina aliha wal mu'allafati qulubuhum. So it's
Mm-hmm.
basically fuqara, which are needy people, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then masakin, which are poor people, and
Mm-hmm.
then you have people whose heart should be attracted to Islam. So like so for that, like, as a goodwill gesture, you can pay zakat to them also. So these are mu'allafatil qulub. And you also have some scholars also have said that we do not have to pay zakat to mu'allafat al-qulub. I mean, the people whose heart are to be softened for Islam, because that was basically the opinion of some Sharia scholars, that we do not have to pay zakat to those people. Rather, we will pay zakat to the administrators of zakat, amilin of
Mm.
zakat, who are in the administration, like people who are
Admin
working in
fees.
NGOs, and they are getting their salaries from those NGOs who are administering zakat.
Mm.
So, so this is again another category. And then people who are in the way of Allah. Although, like, now this is something amazing that people who are in the way of Allah, although like they may be rich in their hometown, they
Mm.
have property, but because of the traveling, they do not have access to their own wealth.
Ah, yes, 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 yeah.
In old times, imagine that a rich person who have left his country and going to another country, but because of some reasons he lost his money or uh, travel money, and now he is in need. So zakat can be paid to that guy as well. So fuqaha actually revived the ruling that if, let's suppose, a person is in the way of Allah, or is
Mm-hmm.
traveling, and but due to some reason he does not have access to his own wealth, and he is in need, zakat can be paid to that guy as well. And then there are people who are under debt. So to ensure that, like, they can pay their zakat, they can pay their debt, uh, we can pay zakat to them as well. uh, and there are other people, like, for example, like, if slaves, but slaves are not in our era, so we do not talk about them, that because otherwise freeing slave was also one of the act which was very much appreciated by Islam. So because of that,
Mm-hmm.
zakat was payable to them as well. Anyway, so these are
Uh-huh.
basically different categories. Now I can tell you a very a very simple idea that whom you pay zakat. If let's suppose that
Mm-hmm.
you find a person who is an adult, and nobody is he is not under anybody else guardianship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And nobody basically takes care of his financial need or her financial need, and he or she does not have savings equal to nisab,
Mm-hmm.
so then he is eligible to receive zakat.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. That was gonna be my next question. What is the amount, like, if someone has in their house that could be considered less or above? What's the limit? But you kind of answered that. Okay,
Mhm.
next question. It's from the live itself. Actually, some people are asking questions. So we had, I think you answered this, but this is a little bit different. Zakat and crypto held for staking with the intention of securing the network and voting rights.
Mhm. So in this case, you do not have to pay zakat on on your holdings.
Okay. Okay, let's just say, hear me out here. Okay, so this is the story. I genuinely like this project, and I put my money into the securing of the network of this project, which is like maybe 2% of the people globally. Let's just get that out there. But then all of a sudden the project is huge. The token's done well, and I made a lot of money from even the staking and the appreciation. My intentions have not changed. My intention is still to help out the project, but I'm benefiting from it now. Like I've sold it, and I benefit from it. Now is zakat valid on me because I've benefited
No.
from
So,
it?
for example, like if it is a sudden intention, like
Yeah.
you are holding that token and you had that intention that you want to stake that token and you receive you receive rewards. Okay,
Mhm.
so that was your intention. But suddenly, what happened is like there is a big move, and because of that, the price hiked and it went all the way up to 10x, 20x, and now you
Mhm.
want to just sell it. You
Mhm.
can sell it because like it's like an ad hoc intention. It was
Mhm.
not there before, but due
Mhm.
to some situation, you changed your intention and now you want
Uh
to
huh.
sell it. Or
Uh huh.
if let's suppose not it's not about making a lot of profit, but someone was holding tokens with the intention that he would stake them and then he will just benefit and secure the network, that's it. But
Mhm.
then due to some reason he needs money, he needs cash,
Got
so
it.
he quickly basically sold those tokens,
Mhm.
unwind the whole staking, unstake
Mhm.
those tokens, and then sold it in the market because he needed cash. So it's like an ad hoc intention again. So like if there
Mhm.
is a change in intention due to some
Mhm.
situation, so
Mhm.
that would not be counted. So unless and until that intention stays there for one year.
Mhm.
So like
Mhm.
let's suppose I hold BNB, and I was just thinking that I will just hold it and I will not sell it, right?
Mhm.
I am just holding and accumulating BNB and I am staking them as well
Mhm.
for 1 year. But after 1 year, the prices were very high, and then I thought that okay, now I want to trade it also and make some profits. So realization of profits, I started selling those BNB, and then
Mhm.
now my intention has changed that okay, and it has become that I want to trade it
Mhm.
for 1 year. So
Mhm.
then first year I will not pay zakat because that was not my intention. But in the second year, my intention changed, so I will
Mhm.
pay zakat on it.
Okay. So let's say I did it for 3 years. I have made 10x the amount. I've taken out the money and I've bought a car. Now the money's been used the day that I unstaked it and I sold it. And the money gets used the next day. I bought a car. There's no zakat on it. And because my initial 3 year nia was, I'm securing the network. That's my goal. But all of a sudden I have 10x. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I can do something else with this money, and I do it right away. And now I get something of my need, which is a car. In certain places in the world, a car has become a need. So then now it's a need now, and I bought a car. So there's nothing. We're good on that. All right.
Yeah, so you do not have to pay zakat on it.
Okay, so I know exactly what nia to make now. Okay, just to clarify some things for some people here, we're talking about staking and things like staking, for example, liquidity providing and XYZ, not saying necessarily BNB staking or thing is halal. We're kind of giving you references because there is discussion about. staking itself and how to do staking, what's the permissible ways of staking, what's the non-permissible ways of staking. So don't think all staking, all liquidity providing is halal. So that's we're just kind of giving you a reference so it's easier to understand. Okay,
Yes,
just want
I
to put
think
that
this
out
is
there.
a very good point, Ahmed, and you reminded me that, yeah, of course, we are talking about stakings, liquidity, provisions, yield farming, etc. It doesn't mean that all those methods are halal.
Mhm.
We are considering in this discussion that all the staking we are talking about is halal
Yeah, yeah,
only.
we're trying to making things easier so people understand. Okay, so Mufti, Dr. Fook, you have helped us with the presentation, which I recommend everybody go. Please watch that presentation, that guide on zakat and crypto, because it will help you basically make a base format of what zakat is on crypto and stuff like that. Then watch this again and again and kind of clarify it for yourself. But Dr. Fruit, kind of putting you on the spot, is there a place where I can go and I can easily calculate my zakat and I can just go, okay, I put in some numbers here and there and I figure out, I I have some utility tokens, I have some stable coins, I have this, and it's been 1 year. And then because there's so many zakat factors on gold, on real estate, on blah 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 blah. You can go online, Google, and you'll find thousand. Can we do something with crypto specific and like, is there an easier way of doing this than?
Yeah, inshallah. I think that we also talk about it, Ahmed, that to make it easy for people to calculate their zakat on their crypto portfolio,
Yeah.
we can come up with a calculator, inshallah. Even like
Okay.
it would be a good idea. I'm just thinking out loud that we can incorporate it in our Sahal wallet, for example. So it
I'm
would
not, but
be easy like
yeah.
this. Yeah. So inshallah. So like
So
think there are many options to do that. Inshallah, moving forward, we will be able to do that. Right now, we are to the best of my knowledge, there is no crypto zakat calculator
hmm
available.
hmm
But inshallah, we will try that. We will have something for our users, for our community. Inshallah.
I think yeah, that could really benefit a lot of the people. Okay. Any because the questions are finished. I think I've asked a lot of other questions too outside of just the YouTube and Twitter and all that stuff. Any last 2 minutes words that you want to leave us with before we wrap this live up?
I think that crypto is a new space, okay, and there is a lot of things going on. Crypto space is expanding in different dimensions. Every day we are not only looking at new projects, but we are looking at new categories of project. So
Mhm,
I mean, it's not only that new projects are coming in, but those projects are creating their own categories. So this is also another thing. So things are a little bit getting complicated, and our research is still at a very initial stage. So what I'm trying to say here is that what we need to do is do a lot of research and come up with the like universally accepted or global standards for zakat on crypto, for example.
mhm,
I think that would be the best way to go forward, and it will definitely avoid confusion among people when they would be calculating their own zakat, institutions or individuals both.
mhm.
And inshallah we will be trying to do that, and then we will be trying to create some tools to help people understand better and also calculate their zakat, and not only about zakat, sadaqat and other things will be coming in the future, inshallah.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, guys, that kind of wraps up our discussion. One thing I took for sure out of this is have your niyyah in check. Understand that zakat is not necessarily a loss of money; it's rather a gain for yourself in the long run. Understand the greater vision of zakat, and so if you could give it on time, and maybe sometimes this is what I believe in. Sometimes give a little bit more than whatever you calculate, just a little extra, because that might benefit you because you don't know, maybe you did some calculations wrong, so it kind of benefits you in that sense. That's about it from our side, guys. Take care of yourself. Pay your zakats. Have a good last few days of Ramadan, and keep us in your du'as. And if you have any more questions, we do have a Telegram channel. You can put your questions on the Telegram channel, and those are from there. We can start answering from there. Other than that, take care of yourself.
Okay,
Salam.
jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.